Hello everyone, how you guys doing? Hopefully you're having a wonderful Monday. We are back again with another Fanatics Weekly Review where I go through the top 100 soccer items auctioned off this week over on their platform. As always, if you enjoy these weekly reviews, do make sure to leave a like, helps me, helps the channel. But with that said, let's go ahead and swing on over there. Try to make it somewhat speedy this week as I have somewhere to be shortly, but at this current moment, we're starting off at 126 to get into this top 100 for this weekly. We begin with a Marcus Della Pele and a PSA 3 for 126. We have a Sarosi Ramona back here, a CGC 3, which, depends on how you want to see that. Could be a 1 or 2 at some other companies. This goes for 126, which seems like a decent price, at least if you assume it's a 1 or 2 at some other companies. Rafinha Green for 132, which, potential Ballon d'Or candidate. At least he had a good shout there for a good minute. Above it, we get remnants of yesteryear with Ansu Fati's Kaboom here, going for 132. Still a decent number, at least to my eye. Cristiano Ronaldo Select Few for 144. We have a Jadon Sancho Kaboom. Again, decent number to my eye, but Kabooms are going to do that. We have a PSA 9 of the 2006 Ronaldo sticker above it for 150. We have a 84 Calcio Flash Roberto Baggio for 150 as well. This says rookie, and it would be, depending on how you want to class rookies. If you count team cards, team stickers as rookie, to each their own. Out of 49, 2016 Donruss Production Line Canvas Cristiano Ronaldo for 150. The canvas numbers don't really do a whole lot. They have like a textured feel. But beyond that, not a lot going for it in terms of different color, any different design. It's relatively mundane. In this row, some fun ones to look at here. The first one being the Sergio Ramos out of 149 red. I was interested in that because it felt kind of strong, and it actually was. Man, for some reason, I guess I've closed this. That's a shame. Well, I'll spoil it. That was, I think, the highest sale ever. If not, it was right around there. There was a sale for like 150 back in 2021 or something like that. So this is about right there. Obviously, color match, PSA 9, not going to be easy. Pop 1 to 7, none higher, as you can tell. 2010 Panini Football, James Rodriguez in a PSA 10 for 156. This was also a decent sale. I did look this one up. And, I guess compared to the last one, it was not at 325. But if you compare to 60, 34, 26, 32, 37... there was a sale back here for 207 on auction, but I mean, for the most part, almost an all-time high for an auction sale there, so pretty good to say the least. Aqua Wave Lamine Yamal for 156. We have a Mega Cruyff here for 156 as well. It seems like a lot of these middle playing career Cruyffs had, maybe been a little too plentiful for a short period of time. They kind of dropped in price, and now they haven't really come out much, and they've kind of gone back up, so this one is a part of that group as well. Decent price here on the 6. We have a 1970 Gente Mexico 70 hand-cut Pele and a PSA 2 for 156. We have a PSA 10 2010 sticker of none other than Messi. This is my first one of the week. There will be another one here in a second. This was a 1950 Ting Halls that I was excited to go ahead and add. I haven't added any Ting Halls to the collection, nor a Zizinho up until this point. So to be able to get both of those in one fell swoop was a interesting one for me. In terms of pricing in the past, I don't feel like this was some mega deal. I think that this was a fair price for me, so I wasn't, trying to swoop in on a deal here or anything. In 2020, there was a comp for a Ting Hall Zizinho in a 1.5 grade that went for like 2 to 250, so they haven't really moved a whole lot since 2020. Now, of course, more have come to market, but at the same time, I'm perfectly fine with going ahead and adding that one, so happy to do that. Yellow border here of a 1963 Lampo Calciatori Rivera, going for 174 in a PSA 3 grade. We have a Father's Day out of 399 Cristiano Ronaldo for 180 in a PSA 10. Above that, the next one of mine was this 1930s Matthias Sindelar sort of playing card here. Obviously doesn't have any like numerical features or anything, but the back is sort of what you'd expect out of a playing card. It's a 2 grade, not anything crazy. Obviously you can tell it's a little worn. We saw a 5 recently go in the 170 auction for like a little under 1,000, so I thought 186 for a 2 was fair. I've been working on a Sindelar run, and that will happily add on into the run itself. 47 Mazzola and a PSA 6 here. A Baldini and Castoldi goes for 186 and a pop 1 of 1-2 higher. We have a Marcus Della Pele and a PSA 6 for 186. I thought this at least was a relative better buy than the PSA 3 we saw for 126. I'd happily pay 50% more for double the grade if I was, a suitor. Beyond that, to end off page 1 here, we have a Geometric Pink Refractor for 186. A Maradona 78 crack, sort of the lesser desired of the bunch, and a PSA 1. Fair price there at 186. Then we have a 1949 Jose Andrade CGC-15 going for 186 from a Uruguayan album there. On to page 3, we start with 1970 multi-language Garincha in a PSA 8. This goes for 192. There was a comment recently about how some of the Panini stickers are going sort of cheap in some of these higher grades. And generally, I would agree. I mean, I watched some of the raw prices of these on eBay, and they're always good, even for like beat-up copies. And so some high grades on the Fanatics Weekly do sometimes fall through the cracks. Not to say that this one did necessarily. I mean, it's pop 1 of 1, 3 higher. If you're looking for a run, that seems like a fun one to add. The Fansmall GOAT Gold Dragon Scales 1 of 1. To me, Fansmall is kind of like a leaf, but I think it's an Asian release. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It says GOAT. It's got this weird gold dragon scale. It's sort of got this goat peeking through here. It's really weird. The Fansmall release, at least to me, is most notable for like what I understand to be like fake Messi autos. They have Messi autos in this set, but it's all of them look exactly the same. They all look way too good. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're just auto penned, but I don't know if they're claiming to be real or not. I don't know. It's just kind of a mess, and for me, that just puts me off on all of it. I don't understand any of it, to be honest. If anyone has insight, do let me know, but that goes for 192, and probably rightfully so. I guess if you're into weird Messi cards, you know, maybe. I'd probably take this over whatever that weird art is, the AI art, 1 of 1 things that people get on Instagram. I was trying to think of the name. The name does come to mind now, but I don't want to, you know, throw it out there for the people. If you know what I'm talking about. Like, sort of in the same realm for me. But beyond that, we have a Peroteo here from 1938 Koenig. I did have a watch on this. Usually I take them off, but there you go. This was a pop 1 of 1, just 1 higher for this particular back. This is a No Princess Ramona back. A decent deal here, I guess, on this one. When we look here, we have some recently that did decent raw prices on hoodies, 212, 227. I'd definitely take the solo back between the two. Beyond that, we have a PSA 1 for 72. We have a raw for 179, a PSA 2 for 170. So yeah, I think this was a little light, but at the same time, these haven't really come down a whole lot. I mean, they sell every now and then, probably like 3 or 4 a year. I mean, a 2.5 in 2022 is 204, so I mean, it's down a little, but compared to most Koenigs, a lot of Koenigs fell off a decent bit. The Peroteo hasn't as much. This also, I think, is a rookie for him. I could be wrong on that. I haven't really seen anything earlier than that for him. So it's definitely early at the very least. Beyond that, in this row, we have a Thierry Henry rookie, quote unquote. Not really, but you get the idea. 72 Dutch Pele here goes for 198, along with this Lacazette Impeccable out of 86 for 210. Above that, this Kubala in a super high grade PSA 6 pop 1 of 2, none higher, goes for 216. Typically, I remember the set for the Di Stefano in there. In this scenario, we got a super high grade Kabbalah getting on in the auction block. We have another Marcus Della Pele here, PSA 5 for 222. The Xavi patch in PSA 9 goes for 222 as well. This isn't a great sale, I don't believe. Wow, I don't know why I closed it, but I did. Anyways, the all-time high for a PSA 9 was like 3 to 350 probably. Whenever the first one of these came out originally, a PSA 6 did almost 200, so they're definitely down a good bit. But at the same time, you know, I can sort of understand it. The real chase here is the out of 25 auto with a patch that is available. An out of 400 patch probably doesn't woo people as much, but I think it is a really cool card nonetheless. Here we have the first of a few Thomas Muller PSA 10 rookies that we'll be seeing. This is the Action Shot for 222. This did a significant discount beneath the others, as we'll come to see. Netfinder's Messi here, PSA 10, along with the purple PSA 10 2018 Topps Chrome. You know, between these two, I'd take the purple, personally, but I could understand if you wanted the silver 2014. Silvers in 2014 meant a lot more than they do now, so that definitely, you know, is weighing in on that. Above it in this row, 2010, Messi in a PSA 10 for 228. We have a Sicker Verlag TTT Pele for 240 and a PSA 4 Pop 1 of 5, 8 higher. At the current prices, you could probably get like almost a PSA 2 Beckenbauer for these prices, so I feel like this is fairly strong. I mean, it's Pele, so it's always going to do decent numbers, but to me that feels decent. I do like the look of it though, really great colors. PSA 8, Jared Muller, these have come down a decent bit, especially in high grade. Pop 1 of 7, just 1 higher for one of the Jared Muller rookies. You know, if you're working on a set for him, I could see that being a fun ad there. Decent price at 260. Another Messi auto above it here, 276 for that facsimile 2010 Panini Barcelona sticker. We have a blue geometric here, Lamine Yamal for 276 out of 150, along with a TTT. This is the In-Action Beckenbauer and a PSA 5. Surely the large slab doing it no favors, but definitely a fun in-action shot. Also very off-center, but I would assume that's baked into the grade, and they just didn't want to put miscut or OC, whichever one I guess would be fitting. That's down a little bit, I'm pretty sure, but generally those have almost done nothing but go down since they started sort of getting brought to market. So we'll see where that turns, or assuming it turns, which you would imagine it would at some point. In this row, a nice fun selection of Pele's. Take your pick. We have a 58 Swedish Record, a 64 Calciatori Copa Pele, and a Montigam International Stars in a 2. So tons of watchers there. If you just go in terms of watchers, it would seem that this was about doubly as enticing to the people. The records have just absolutely tanked. I did look this one up just to see. There's barely any 2.5 grades throughout the past, but if we look pre-boom, back in 2015, it was $125. Then it was $1,300, then $900, then $276. So, it's doubled over the last decade, which in soccer, not many things have done that poorly. So, I guess it does speak to the record and sort of the situation it's in, but it is interesting. At some point, you would assume they're too cheap. I don't know. To each their own. Obviously, the market will decide. Finally, on page 2 here, we have a Casanova Schaefer for $288. That seemed like a fun price if you're interested. At least it seemed low compared to the last comps we've seen for it. The Casanovas, you don't see a ton. Schaefer, you don't see a ton in general as well. The backs, kind of beat up, as they're going to be generally. But definitely, I guess, deserving of the one. Still a nice looking front, still a nice looking card. Seemed like a decent price there. Fun buy if you are the buyer indeed. Beyond that, Marcus Della Pele, small portrait white border in a 3 goes for $300. And then finally, a Mirar Sprint 1961 in a 2 goes for $300 as well. That takes us to the top half of the auction block here. We start with this out of 40 pink laser Neymar for $312. That seemed like a decent price to me. I'm not too in tune with 2018 Prism Neymar, but an out of 40 going for $312. I know it's a PSA 10, but doesn't seem bad. Fergie Heroes here, $312. We talked about these before. I have no clue what these are, where they're from. If you go and look at the back, it has some dude's email on here, along with like his home phone number or something. You got an email, you got a website, you got his personal address, I guess. I don't know. And yeah, it's just sort of a weird set that you didn't really see at all. Now you see a lot of them in 10s. And speaking of 10s, what the hell is this? So it's a PSA 10, we'll look at the right side. Right side looks fine. Bottom edge looks a little weird, right? Like just a little weird. But this on the left hand, what is this? This is a 10? Are you kidding me? That's a 10? With all these, what is that? That's a 10? When you send in cards that are basically flawless and they end up getting 8 sometimes, and then you see this where this gets a 10 and is clearly like a 7, I don't even know. I wouldn't even send that in. There's an example of that later. There's cards I wouldn't even send in that just end up getting 10s, and this is recently graded too. I have no clue how this stuff works, man. Most of the time I feel like grading probably gets it right, but there's such strange anomalies where it just makes you question almost everything sometimes. So yeah, interesting to say the least. $312 seems like a good price. If I had to go with a Fergie's Heroes Cristiano Ronaldo, that probably should be a 7, or a Titularis Authentic, I'd take the Titularis Authentic Pele rookie, with my own personal money, but obviously I didn't buy either. This one, fairly beat up. This is a very low, basically the entry price into Titularis, but obviously you're going to get an entry price sort of sticker. Off-center, sort of beat up on the front and back, but still a fun set, a fun rookie for Pele, and a decent price. $312, you're not asking a whole lot for a Pele rookie. Above it, Lacazette Gold for $336, which is about the price that I had in mind going into the auction. I do keep an eye on some of the World Cup winning Prism Golds, because I think that would be fun to put together. That Lacazette is also an Arsenal sort of desired card, I would imagine, so that plays a factor. $336 here, take your pick, PSA 10, 2017 Chrome, or a sticker Erling Haaland in a PSA 10. Honestly, personally, I'd take the foosball, I guess, just because getting a Chrome refractor, at least for me, doesn't really do a whole lot. I don't have the colors. I would prefer colors. At least with the foosball, I could get a foosball Haaland along with a Kylian Mbappe foot sticker and just feel like I have those two guys done and dusted, I don't need to chase anything else. This feels like the beginning step of more chasing. this is sort of the end of whatever chase you do here. These are down a ton, though. The Erling Haaland stickers are down. I mean, they were around $1,000 a year to 2 years ago, and now they're $336, which kind of was always going to happen. I mean, they're pretty high pop, and people, especially when there's other cards you can look for, they don't really prefer stickers. Beyond that, a Carmelos Campeonato Mundial de Futbol Chile Florian Albert. So Florian Albert, this should be a rookie, I do believe, of him. I know the San Giorgio is sort of like pseudo-rookie, and that's a 62-63 sort of release, so this one would seem to be even more so a rookie. Pop 1 of 1 and higher for $348. Feels like a pretty good price, or a fun entry price, I guess. Doesn't seem crazy, at least to my eye. Gold Lava Lamine Yamal PSA 9 for $360. We have a Cruyff Middle Career. Again, the Cruyff Middle Careers are doing pretty good. This one goes for $372, and a pop 1 of 6 higher. Above that, we have a 1924 Gartman Toll Harder. This is a German set that is, somewhat easy to find, I guess, compared to other issues. In high grade, not as much. This is a pop 1 of 1 and higher, $372 on this one. Great goal scorer, but also played a role in World War II, and not a great way, so, a very checkered history in terms of him. $372 on that one. If you're into it, if you're trying to build the set, that seems like a fun price. Fun card to add if it's up your alley. 2009 Panini Bayern Munich Thomas Muller PSA 10, pop 1 of 5. This to me seemed like a decent price. $408 for this. The way I sort of thought about it, I know Thomas Muller has more options for his rookie than Lewandowski, but like Lewandowski PSA 10s do ridiculous numbers. And a foil Bayern Munich Thomas Muller PSA 10 for $408, pop 1 of 5. I like it. I think that's a fun buy. And it's actually cheaper than the next one we'll see. I'd probably rather have this one. We have a 1963 Nannina Campione della Gol postcard in a PSA 5 for $420. Always sort of a standout postcard just for the imagery itself. Beyond that, a Foot Henry from 2001. The EA Sports goes in a PSA 8 for $432. Did look this one up. You don't see them too often. Last one did $264 here for a PSA 6 at the bottom, near the bottom. PSA 8 on best, well, actually that's on auction, did $500, and then a PSA 5 did $336. So, compared to the last 8 price, it's about the same. So not really too crazy. Compared to the 5, they're down a little bit. Compared to the 6, it's, probably a fair price. What interests me is, we know that these sort of got graded in batches, and this is a pop 1 of 3, 5 higher. So we've seen 2 of the 3 PSA 8s, but we haven't seen any of the 5 higher. And I guess that's where my questions would sort of lie. Like, we're probably going to see one of those soon, right? I would imagine. So it'll be interesting to see what that does. 2017 Select Orange for $432 and a PSA 10 of none other than Lionel Messi. And then finally in this row, a 1962 Looter Sport Pele in a 2.5 for $444. Some more high-grade 1970 Panini stickers with this Eusebio and a PSA 9 multi-language back. Pop 1 of 3 goes for $456. Again, fun ad if you're trying to put that set together. 2021 Donruss Road to the World Cup Kaboom. Luka Modric PSA 10 goes for $468. Along with this Nuzzi Campione dello Sport Pele PSA 2. I haven't seen that too much. Pop 1 of 3, just 1 higher. A 1 of 1 Rodrigo for $528, along with the PSA 3 record Pele and Garrincha. I always say it, I'm a fan of Pele and Garrincha together on this record. I think that's how it's meant to be. I personally would prefer a little more of a red border around it, but that's fine as well. This is the portrait shot that did do a decent number over the foil that we saw earlier. This one goes for $540 without any sort of PSA pop connotations beneath it, so I would assume that this is a little higher pop. Also being non-foil, you would assume that to be the case. I also like the foil because it helps you protect against fakes a little bit better. So not only is it probably harder to grade, it also is a little bit more protected, and I think looks better. So it's just got a lot of things going for it. I think that was the deal of the bunch, but I respect this one. I respect the action shot we saw earlier as well. Then finally on this page, a couple Messis here, 2005 Champions of Europe. Looked this one up because I knew Card Ladder would have a nice graph of it, and they sure do. Looking here, over the last 2 years, kind of all over the place. It seems like it went down and then maybe up, but this is just a really good sale here. Went from $455 to $600, so maybe that's just a good sale. Over the last year, up 20% again. Graph's looking kind of wonky, but nonetheless. And then finally on this page, a Vinny auto here from 2018, Treble Purple out of 49, in-person auto, of course. I think it looks horrible. Like, if you're going to get a card signed in person, I don't think this is the card, all right? I don't think that looks good. I think most everyone would agree on that. Maybe, well, I was going to say if you gave him a white pen, but not even that. I don't know how you do it, to be honest. Maybe you just have to have it in the side over here with like a white pen. It'd be tricky. But it didn't seem like it added a whole lot to it. The last PSA 9 of the purple did 780. This is a PSA 8, so, I mean, it seems like the auto added a bit to it, but probably not a whole lot more when you include the price to get him to autograph it and all that stuff. Maybe you found him in person, I'm not sure. But that brings us to page 1. So, 1965 Jared Muller, PSA 6 for $690. I looked at the back of that. The back looked pretty clean. 6 for $690 doesn't seem bad at all either. If you're into that stuff, I think that was a decent price. I think we saw a 7 recently go for like $1,200, $1,100, something like that. Beyond that, silver Kylian Mbappe PSA 10 for $690, along with a Cristiano Ronaldo SP Authentic for $720. A boxing card made it into this auction block. Not sure why that was. This 2017 Select Lionel Messi goes for $870 in a PSA 10. Initially, I thought that was a really good price. I looked at the comps, and actually that's about where they've been. $840, $990, $1,000, $800. Back during the boom, $1,300 to $1,400, but nothing crazy. I thought that was pretty respectable for a set that, has some collector love for sure, but doesn't get a ton of, public love. We have a Mojo Chrome Lamine Yamal for $870. For some reason, I feel like that's a case hit. I could be wrong on that, but decent price nonetheless. Personally, I thought that this seemed kind of cheap. I mean, just compared to like the select field level, I know people love the field level. And out of 8, black gold mosaic. I know it's mosaic. I know it's Road to Guitar. Like, there's a lot of things going against it, but out of 8 for about $1,000 of Messi, you don't see that a whole lot. I think that was a decent buy if you're into just rare Messi stuff. Sergio Ramos here, 2015 Flawless for $1,050. Really cool card. Goes a little off the card, but that's fine. He has a really great auto. I'll take that over, a Zinedine Zidane oval or whatever he does at this point. This was crazy, or at least I thought $1,050. It's out of 99. I felt like that had to be match worn. It's actually player worn, so that felt like a really good price for a player worn patch. I'll take the Xavi PSA 9 from 2004 that we saw earlier and take the extra $800 and just walk on home. 2019 Finest Purple Erling Haaland for $1,100 here. Obviously, these are down. I mean, a PSA 10 too. I would assume a 9's like $400 or $500 probably. Finite 1 of 1 Cristiano Ronaldo. Again, I guess it's Obsidian, but that's probably a player-worn patch. This is a player-worn patch. I know this is NT, and it's Messi. I know this is Obsidian and Ronaldo and Juve kit and all that. I take the 1 of 1, though. Kylian Mbappe, PSA 10, goes for $1,200 of his 2021 Kaboom. Above that, in this row, we have a 58 sort of matchbook here of Pele. PSA 5 goes for $1,200. Super high grade on that. Pop 1 of 4 too higher. Not really a card or sticker at all. It's very weird that they graded this, but nonetheless, it still counts, I guess, to certain things or certain collectors if you're into it. 2018 Chrome. This one was interesting. I don't know why they label it as this. They label as 2018, 2019 Topps Chrome. I mean, this is clearly 2017, 2018 season. Now, from my understanding, it was printed pretty late. Like, I'm sure it was into 2018. I'm not sure exactly on the calendar sort of make and model of it, but I know that a lot of people talk about Kylian Mbappe's 2017 Chrome and his 2018 Prism, and they say, they're actually created really close in time to each other, a lot closer than you would think. You'd think there's a full year between them. It's not really the case. So maybe, BGS has taken a stand here. I don't know. This is really recently graded, which makes it even weirder. I didn't understand that at all. I don't know why they did that. I don't know why Fanatics went along with it and labeled it as 2018. I'm just confused. 1 for $1,200, which I guess feels fair. I mean, for a BGS 9, that doesn't seem like crazy. It doesn't seem like it got a huge discount for that. I think people still saw it, but nonetheless. Matchups Ronaldo and Messi here. This one was interesting. It's a PSA 10 for $1,500, which just in terms of comps is pretty good. If we look here, I mean, these have been lately a best offer last year, went for $900, a fixed price for $950, a fixed price for $1,000. So they've been around $1,000, even a little lower at times. Back during the boom, I mean, they were higher, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, yeah, I don't know. During the boom, they were like $3,000 to $4,000 at times. As of anything past like 2021, $1,500 to $1,600 is a pretty good price. So I'd say those are looking good. At least that sale in particular is. What I was going to mention, in regard to the grading discussion we had earlier, if I had this card raw, I don't think I'd send it in. Look at that top edge and look at this bottom edge. I mean, that's putrid. It's putrid. It's just disgusting. And that's assuming the rest of the card is perfect. There's no scratches, there's no indents, there's no nothing. And the edges look like that. Now, maybe they sort of understand 2014 Prism's known for that and they just don't care, but I mean, come on. Row above it, though, we have a gold Messi here. I was interested in that. Would you rather have a gold Messi 2018 Chrome or a green 2017, 2018 Chrome here? I think that would be an interesting question for people to ask themselves. Personally, I think I take the gold just because green doesn't do a whole lot for me. Gold is pretty cool. People talk about, I get the full bleed of 2017, right? You got the color all the way to the border. But people say like 2018 is just a colored border, and it's not. This is gold all the way around. So for me, I think the gold looks really good. I would take it personally. I know it's got a different looking border. It's a little different. But to me, I would personally take the gold. I think that's a fun one. Pop one at 13, 6 higher. Baggioli Pele, this is a fun one as well. Not too easy to find, and a pretty desirable Pele by many. If we look back in terms of comps, there definitely have been higher sales in the past. 3,100 here on a 4. You got 1,300 on a 3. These are definitely down a good bit. A PSA 5 for 3,500. So those have come down a good bit. But if you're in the market for one, if you're looking for one, could be a fun time to enter. That is an eye appeal designation as well. This PSA 2 Aquarella is about where you'd expect it. 1,600 there is not too shabby. Row above that, you have a triple auto here of Zidane, Roberto Carlos, and none other than R9. 2,500 there. Don't know what to make of it. They can theoretically create these year after year, so I'm always a little hesitant, but I do think that they are intrinsically cool. But at the same time, 2,500, it does assume that they are cool. So this one, 3,100 on a Stampas Messi from, I said Messi, Maradona, pardon. From 78, this goes for 3,100 in an SGC 4, which is super high grade. Pop one of 1 then higher, I didn't even recognize that. But yeah, a 4 is really high on these. And the color is interesting because the color's like, you can see the red, you can see the green, you can see the blue really well. The nameplate's okay. So to some degree it's good, but they're not as like saturated as they could be, so it's a little faded. Nonetheless, when you go back and look at comps, the last PSA 4 last year did 1,700, so this is nearly double that. Now granted, when I'm talking about the colors, this one's a little more saturated, like the red jersey's really saturated. The nameplate looks pretty good, but like the other colors look terrible. Like those look bad, and it's super off-center. So, I don't think that was necessarily a great 4 sale. If we look before this, a BVG 4 sold for 1,800, and then maybe the same copy? No, different copy sold for around 4,000. That one looks really short in terms of corners and edges, and yeah, that just seems a little sketchy to me, but you always have to look into that, especially with vintage stuff. That was graded early on, and also BVG. So beyond that, Black Refractor Lamine Yamal goes for 6,300 here from Stadium Club Chrome. I looked that one up, and I was just interested because there's other ones that have sold, but these are members only. And I, at least in like the 90s, I thought members only was the cool version. Apparently not here, because this is a 910, and that went for 2,000. And there's other ones that went for like 1,300, 1,100. So apparently the members only sucks and people don't care about it, but this one, the base goes for 6,300 there, which seems like a pretty good price. And then finally, top 3 this week, we have a Messi 2014 Prism Auto for 6,300. Looking back on comps here, this is a really good sale. We saw this recently with the PSA 10 Prism Autos that have been doing pretty good. Before this, 4,600, 4,700, 4,000, 59, 46, 32. It says invest now. They were right. You should have invested now because you could be up almost double. But nonetheless, doing really good. I thought that was a great price, and seemingly so. Now the auto is fully on sticker, so maybe that has something to play as well, but still a good price. Next to it, we have this Topps Inception out of 5 orange Lamine Yamal going for 6,600. I did take a peek just to make sure, and yeah, this is sticker. These types of prices for rookie autos are already like really high and really expensive and just really sort of concerning. But with sticker autos as well, I know it's like hard to see here, but I'm pretty sure if you look around the edge here, you can see the line where the sticker is. But like, man, nearly, it's not 5 figures yet, but you're getting close to 5 figures for a sticker auto, and I just wonder about that. He's going to be signing cards forever if he's going to be the guy. So 6,600 for a sticker, kind of a lot. But people love Inception, people love Lamine Yamal, so more the merrier. Have all the fun you like. And then finally, this one tops the auction block by a mile. I wouldn't have expected that, but kind of looking at it, sort of makes sense. It's a 2018 Prism World Cup Cristiano Ronaldo out of 5, PSA 10. It's pop 1 of 2, super hard to get. I did look up comps, and in regard to the Cristiano Ronaldo in particular, there was a sale back in 2018 for a PSA 10. Not the same one. This is 2 out of 5. The one pictured here is 3 out of 5. This went for $381. So a cool 50x from 2018 to 2025. Not too shabby, huh? I did look up, I think also, yeah, just general blue shimmers from this year. There's only 2 that have sold higher, and they're both Kylian Mbappe's in 9.5 grades. And they haven't sold, I mean, they've sold for a good bit more than the Ronaldo, but only 4 and 13,000. So none of them have doubled the price, per se. A Messi Raw did sell for 4,500 as well here, and that seems like a decent price if you're a Messi guy. I know it's not graded, and there's probably a lot of worry that comes with that, but still, 4,500 on that when a Ronaldo's doing nearly 20 grand is not bad at all. And interesting nonetheless. Heung-min Son here for 3,300 too. That's a nasty sale there. But that tops the weekly this week. I thought it was a fun one overall. A lot of good stuff in between. We'll take a quick peek at next week and see what we got. I have not looked yet, so I shall be surprised with you here. Ooh, a couple nice flawless Messis to start us off here, along with a 2022 Lionel Messi National Treasures patch auto. You got a 2013 Cristiano Ronaldo Topps Premier Gold. Nice panel here of Pele in a red and blue back. You got a Zoff in there as well. More Messi autos, a gold Kylian Mbappe, a gold Messi, PSA 2 Cruyff Sticker Verlag, along with an 86 Maradona, PSA 9 OC of the 2002 Ronaldo. And yeah, a lot of fun stuff in between. Should be a good weekly. I am looking forward to it, and hopefully you are too. But that's going to be it for me this week. As always, if you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like. I'd appreciate it greatly. Anything you want to tell me or others, something you snagged, something you saw, would love to see it in a comment down below. And if you want to see more videos like this as soon as they go live, make sure to subscribe. But with that said, hopefully you have a wonderful day, and peace.